What's going on? It's Average THC Guy. Today I am going to tell you a classic story of the first time I ever bought weed. Now, this is not to be confused with the other video, the first time I bought a pen. I don't really count that, but this is the first time I bought that bud, grass, weed, pot, zaza, that good shit. I'm talking flower today, but ladies and gentlemen. But before we do that, just to stay loose, I'm smoking on some cherry AK-7. Smoke along with me if you don't care. There we are. So yeah, just cash that bull. So this story takes place probably about a year ago, maybe late February, early March. At this point, I was just hitting carts. That was all I was really doing. I had done bud before, but in very varied instances. I had still had some of my birthday money and my Christmas money, and so I decided to hit up Marshall. Now, Marshall at this time had just started plugging, so he had gotten 3 new strains, and I wanna say about, like, a quarter of each. It was Oreos, cherry pie, and Grapenstein or Purple Gorilla. I think it was Purple Gorilla. And so he had all 3 of those strains, and I decided to hit him up one day and was like, "Hey man, you want to smoke?" And so he had just recently, staying over at my house one night, shown me how to roll a joint. He had had it like a zigzag, and I think it was a cone actually, and he had rolled it over his jar because we just didn't have roll trays at that point. So yeah, he had rolled it in his car, and he had finally shown me how to do that, so we did the same procedure there. So he picked me up from BP, and then we drove to this secluded airport. This was before I told him about my smoke spot or the secluded place that we could smoke. We're like looking for shit. We were gonna go to this nearby lake that's really famous in our town. We were gonna go different places, but we decided on the airport. So he picks me up, we drove over there, and then he rolls the joint, and we're like right on the fence where the runway is. So we're like seeing planes land as we're doing this. And so he rolls a joint, and then we spark it up. We smoked it outside, and I remember the wind was really interfering with the lighter because it was winter and it was still pretty cold. And we were just out here in fucking Amish, man. You could see like some nearby mountains, and like there was a lot of woods and brush and debris nearby. And so we smoked this joint, and then we were just kind of sitting in the car vibing, probably listening to like Mac Miller or some shit. And then I get out and I walk around to go take a piss. And it honestly, you know how people say, oh man, I'm on another planet? I genuinely felt like I was a fucking astronaut exploring another planet. Like, that was the level of this shit. And so I got back in the car and he decided since I'm buying this shit off him, I need something to smoke it at home because I'm not gonna smoke it out of like a can or an apple. So we decided to go to the local smoke shop and buy us both a pipe. And so we did that. And so the first time I'd ever gone into our local smoke shop, I was high. And that's probably not something you want to do, especially if you're underage. So, but we go in there, we get a really chill guy who uh lets us buy 2 pipes. I got my pipe, it was like covered in red, white, and blue yarn, and I eventually named it American Piper. See if you get the reference. And then we go back to the car, and I'm like on some conspiratorial shit. I'm talking about the JFK assassination and how he was killed by the fucking CIA and the mob, which I do believe he was. I was talking about fucking aliens and shit, how I thought those were real, and like UFOs. And so we get back to my car at BP, and I think this is the time that or Marshall had a cart. And it was one of those fucking cake carts, and he told me to do a blinker off of it. And if you know anything about carts, blinkers go crazy, and especially on newer smokers because they make you cough like a motherfucker. And after I had exhaled all the smoke, I fucking opened the door and coughed so much, I swear to God, I thought I was gonna puke. And then put on his phone like some Beavis and Butthead shit, which I thought was funny. But like it was borderline incomprehensible to me. It's this clip of him like talking to a dumpster fire, and I just could not understand it. And then he introduced me to this one channel that is the reason I do this today, Goblin, who tells stories about doing drugs. Check out his channel. And I could have been dealing with some like dangerous criminals, but no, I was just chilling, smoking pot with a friend. So yeah, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.